In Bulletstorm, you play as Gray, the leader of a government assassination squad. He finds out that the whole time he thought he was killing slavers and drug lords, but it turns out his group was being sent after innocent civilians. This does not sit well with him, so he confronts the general, who then turns them all into fugitives. 10 years later, they catch up with the general's ship, and they try to kill him via kamikaze tactics. It does not work, and they all crash land on a nearby planet. This is where the game begins. You must now find your way to an incoming dropship to use for your escape, as well as to get your revenge on the general. Of course, since this planet just happens to be populated by nothing but lunatics, you have to kill everything in sight that isn't a teammate. And your teammates are morons who will constantly get in your way during fights. Since you can't kill your teammates, they end up just blocking all of your bullets. Not that it really matters too much, because the enemy AI is programmed to stand around staring at walls while you come up with fun new ways to kill them. I am of course referring to the game's big selling point, kill with skill. Killing your enemies in creative ways gets you points. Use these points to upgrade your weapons and to buy ammo. And I have to say that it's a really good idea. And there are a decent amount of creative kills to take advantage of. 131 different ways in total. I know that sounds like a lot, but it really isn't enough. While it does cover a lot of the ways I could come up with, there were quite a few missing from their list. Still, the fact that a shooter is not only encouraging people to think outside the box, but also rewarding it, is something I've been waiting to see for a very, very long time. Graphically, they did a good job. Environments are high quality and colorful, and the only slowdown is when you enter bullet time. I don't think that game companies will ever let bullet time die. The controls are pretty good. The only problem is the lack of a jump button, and the only reason that's an issue is because you have to jump over obstacles, which they've ended up making context sensitive. And for some reason, if you're too close and looking over the obstacle, you can't go over it until you look down at it. But that's really just a minor gripe. The major gripes are the story and the character dialogue. The story itself is the most cliched and predictable story imaginable. There are absolutely no surprises in the entire game. It gets boring really fast when you can predict everything that's going to happen in a story. And the characters. My god, who wrote this crap? The three main protagonists are the most unlikable assholes I have ever seen. If you think Eli Roth writes unlikable characters, they don't even compare to the people in this game. The stuff they say is the most idiotic, profane, ignorant, arrogant trite I have ever heard. It's like they took the idea of a stereotypical Xbox Live 12-year-old and went, how can we make our characters dumber and more unlikable than this? And they pulled it off. And the campaign length? 7 hours. So at least you don't have to put up with their stupidity for long. Seriously, why did first-person shooters stop having long, well-written campaigns? Did they do it to focus more time on the multiplayer? Because the makers of this game sure as hell didn't. This game has one multiplayer game type. One. And it's just Horde mode. 4-player co-op Horde mode, which they call Anarchy mode. You just kill droves of mindless enemies while racking up a high skill kill score. That's the entire multiplayer experience. Yes, you do level up, but just to kill the exact same droves a little quicker. There's another mode called Echo mode, where you go through all the levels of the game again, but while trying to get a high score and doing so quickly, and without the horrifyingly stupid banter from the main characters. It's also single player only. Why wasn't this a multiplayer mode? I would have enjoyed playing this with my friends. So, overall, the idea of coming up with creative ways to kill enemies is awesome. It really is a lot of fun discovering all the creative things you can do with the fairly unique weapons that this game has to offer. But every single other aspect of this game ranges from terrible to lazy. They basically came up with one great idea, and instead of refining it, they just quickly slapped together a game. I would love to see a majorly improved upon sequel. Maybe give it a rental to play around with the skill kills, but it's just too short of a single player and too lacking in multiplayer to warrant a purchase. Thank you for watching and see you next time.